And we can turn it around, show your names. We're going to put Team Jaquez. Okay. That is a 7. Or 6. All right, guys. All right, take this jersey. Your sport, you can exit. Okay, I don't catch up.
So good.
Max, you have that all right, please. Yeah. I don't have, a whole lot to say. I had a great conversation with Jaime last night, but I just want to, welcome him, to the Heat family and also to all of you that'll see him like 1,000 times a season and talk to him. But I want to introduce his family. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Jaquez. Okay, Justin, his agent with CAA. Mark also almost broke his back last night, lifting him up, but it was good. He's got some strength, and his sister, Gabriella, sorry. And but it's a sports family. It's unbelievable what this family is all about, and just so proud to have him in here, and everybody being connected, in sports and community and all the things that he does in LA. I'm just tickled to death that he's sitting here with us today, and I'm going to turn the mic over to him because I babble on from that standpoint. But welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
you. Appreciate it.
All right, if you ask questions, raise your hand, please. We'll bring the mic over to you.
Hey, Jaime, Ira Winderman from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Welcome.
Thank you.
There are certain players who see certain situations as challenges and certain who embrace them. This place is known for a lot of work. Got a feeling they might have put you through a workout already if they had the opportunity. Obviously, someone who's played in college for 4 years has been through a lot of work. Didn't sort of take, I don't want to say the easy way out, but kept working. The grind here, can you compare that to what you've been through before and what you've heard about Heat culture? Are you a little bit sort of on like, they're going to start taking my body fat as soon as I leave the podium?
Yeah, I think, I didn't expect there to not be any challenges. I know what this organization's about, and it's about toughness and willing to work and put in that work to become the best player that you could possibly be, and that's what I've always been about. At UCLA, I think those intangibles were really ingrained in me under Coach Cronin, and I think it's going to be a smooth transition coming here because that's all I was doing for 4 years in college, and now coming here, 82 games is a lot more. It's going to be a lot of things I'm going to have to learn, but that's just a part of the process and growing as a player. So I'm really excited, and I can't wait to get to work.
Hey, Anthony Chang with the Miami Herald. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're kind of known to do a lot of things well, but I guess what would you point to as maybe the defining quality of your game if you had to single out one?
I would just say I'm just a guy that makes an impact on the game. I feel like that is my biggest quality, is just making impactful winning plays. And that's, getting steal or getting a deflection, getting a big rebound, just little things that really impact the game in a major way is something that I really try to do in my game. And I think that's one of my biggest attributes, I should say.
I'm Cooper Moorhead, Heat.com. Welcome again. Since talking to you last night, got to watch a little bit more film and, focusing on your footwork in the paint. You go to that spin back jumper a lot. I'm curious as to that specific move. When did you start developing that, and when did you add it to your game? And how much of a weapon was it for you the last couple of years?
I would say I watched a lot of Kobe Bryant. He was my favorite player growing up, and his footwork was impeccable. And you saw what he did in the mid post area and his spins, his fakes, everything like that. So I kind of, developed my own. I like to spin a lot. So, when guys started to catch on, I had to find a counter. And so the half spin is kind of what I turn to. Fake, half spin, turn around. It creates a lot of space, and it gives me opportunity to get a good look at a shot. So I think that's how I develop it. People taking away the spin, and people are assuming I'm going to spin. So, fake, shoot it.
When we spoke to Adam yesterday, we asked him whether you could see you as both a small forward and power forward. And of course, probably having spoken to Coach Spo already, everyone plays any position here and they switch everything off in any way. But in the NBA, power forward can also be physically demanding. One, how much time have you played a power role during your 4 years or in any other form of the game? And two, if you are going to do that, do you feel a need to bulk up, or are you one of these people sort of like Caleb Martin who's here who feels your agility can sort of offset maybe being muscled?
I think my 4 years at UCLA, I was playing pretty much the four position. Although we did switch a lot, interchangeable. It's kind of like the same lane. We also played small a lot too. So there was times where I was even playing the five alongside some of my teammates, and I was the biggest guy on the floor. So I'm pretty accustomed to guarding those bigger guys. But as far as bulking up, I don't necessarily think I feel the need to. I think, like you said, Caleb Martin is a great example, just using that agility and quickness against those bigger guys. But I also do feel like I'm pretty strong at my size, and I'm going to be able to, sustain my weight. So.
New York, getting here now, speaking to us, and also how familiar are you with the city of Miami?
Well, before I came here today, this is like my third time being here, so I'm not crazy familiar, but from what I know, I've enjoyed the city a lot, and I really love the culture here. And as far as the past 24 hours, I mean, leading up to draft night draft night, it felt like the longest day of my life, and then I wake up and I'm in Miami already. So it's weird. It was slow, but now it's fast, but I'm just trying to soak it all in as much as I can.
I think you said before that you felt like your passing ability was a little bit of an underrated aspect, and they obviously it's a team that runs a bunch of motion sets and uses big men that play make. I guess, how do you think you can plug in that range as a passer?
Well, I think when you hit a guy, if he's open, and in motion, there's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of guys flowing throughout the offense, and that opportunity for back cuts or slips and things like that. And I feel like my ability to hit those guys and see what the defense is doing and hoping my teammate is able to read, just finding that connection. I think, playing with the guys, hopefully we'll develop a chemistry, and it's going to be real smooth.
You mentioned Jimmy, and then you just mentioned Caleb, but one of the other guys on the team, Bam, was one of the most unique big men in the league. I'm curious as to what are your impressions of Bam, having watched him, and how do you think your game would kind of meld with his?
I mean, I love Bam, man. He plays so hard, rebounds, defends, blocks shots, everything you need from a guy like that. And I'm very excited to be able to play on the floor with him. I think we're gonna play really well together. I'm very excited. He's one guy that I'm really excited to play with.
Having parents that hooped, I'm curious what attributes you took from each one and which parent's tougher on you.
I would say as far as my toughness and going at 100 all the time, probably went for my mom. She always told me that, I wasn't as skilled as anybody else, but I just worked harder than everyone. So I think I got that from her. And I think the skill side, probably my dad. He was a point guard. And when I was little, he decided to coach me because he didn't want any other coach to put me in the post and just not let me do anything else. So I think I got all the skill from him, and then, the toughness and going after everything, I think I got from my mom.
This team is known for playing a lot of zone defense, and if not, the switch everything becomes sort of a zone. How comfortable are you in that situation? And I know you just spoke about playing big, but also playing small. I mean, even Bam winds up on point guards here. So one, playing in the zone, I don't know how much you've seen of the Heat, sort of 2-3, start with the press sometimes, or switching. How comfortable do you feel for that? Because we all read the draft previews. We see about mobility. I mean, they mention your hips. I'm not going to make you stand up about that. But when people talk about that, how comfortable do you feel that guarding down as well as guarding up?
I mean, I feel really comfortable. I think at UCLA, all we did was switch. We switched. I was guarding big guys. I was guarding little guys, like I said before. So it's nothing that I haven't seen before. So, when I get to this next level, it's going to be the same. A lot of switching, guarding big guys, guarding little guys, and you just got to be ready for it. I think I'm prepared. I'm going to get prepared this offseason even more than I already am. So,
just entering the league, is there anybody specifically that you're looking forward to matching up with?
I mean, I'll give the cliche answer. I'd say LeBron. I've been watching him, one of the greatest players of all time. So he's probably the guy that I'm looking forward to the most.
Going back to your footwork in the post, when did that become a big part of your game? And aside from Kobe, is there anybody else that you kind of watch and study that part of their games?
Well, I think it's it's more of my philosophy of looking at the game as you're young. They always tell you as you go up in the level of the game, it always gets faster. But I found out that as it gets faster, you need to go slower. So just trying to always stay under control is something that I really tried to do in my career at UCLA. Coach Cronin was a big help in making sure that I was always under control and, was very sure of my decisions. So I think just playing at my own pace is something. And like looking at guys like Luka, I think has also really helped, just watching the way that he's always under control, never sped up, and playing his game and just always being able under control. So.
One more.
Jaime, do you think you're going to be somebody who can be somewhat of a mismatch kind of punisher when it comes to having a guard on you? Do you think that's something you can go to in the league on top of everything else that you already bring?
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think, I can do that. I think at first I just got to earn my minutes and find a way to the floor. But yeah, I mean, hopefully looking down in the future, that's going to be something that I think we can expose and take advantage of.